Hello and welcome in to the Weird Dream Bus and to Life on Mars, the Veronica Mars Rewatch podcast where we go through episode by episode. I'm Brenton.
And I'm Emily.
And we're here to talk about trauma. Sorry, episode 18 of season 2, I Am God.
I feel like this one's supposed to be like, look, it could be very like Lynchian or like very like, oh, like we could be in the dream, like what's real. And like we're talking to like the people that have already died because they haunt us. Which I'm into. The first time we watched this, I was not into that.
No.
The first time we watched this episode, I was like, this is what's poorly done, which is part of the problem.
Yeah, that's really what it is.
And because I didn't have any better versions, I've seen a lot of poorly done things like this. I used to watch Pretty Little Liars, and let me tell you, it was just a fucking shit show. After season 3, that literally like, oh god, yeah, it's a fucking nightmare. And I was in, like, it was deep, and it was, you know, you can't stop.
I mean, there's something to be said for shows that are like teetering on the edge of being bad.
Yeah, but Pretty Little Liars started good. Those first 3 seasons are actually good.
Right.
I mean, they were at the time for what they were.
Yeah.
I haven't rewatched them.
No, and I think that's what frustrates me about Riverdale, even though like I love the excess, but that first season is excessive, but like just on this riding this line, and also it looks like super nice in a way that like the other seasons don't look quite as nice.
It's not as polished in later seasons.
Yeah, or there's more. They're taking more like different like camera angles and like more cinematic camera angles and stuff. Where there's this someone that a writer, Austin Walker at Vice, well, no longer at Vice Games, podcaster extraordinaire, to summarize, but he talks about the difference between like when movies or shows look nice and when they look expensive. So yeah, I feel like that first season is like it looks nice, like, and then subsequent seasons they look expensive.
That's interesting.
Yeah. But that's a nitpicky thing. But the show really goes off the rails.
Yeah. Sabrina is by far the best of the Archie universe.
Yeah, totally. I 100% agree. And if it starts, the premise already is so excessive, so it kind of lends itself to like being to the nines.
Well, and it's like the characters are actually like you get annoyed with them, but they follow a rational plot line.
Totally. And
they follow like a person. Each character has an arc.
Mm-hmm.
In Riverdale, you could say that certain characters don't have arcs. Like I would argue that Veronica Lodge never changes.
No.
She gets screwed by her father, and she either fights back or gives in, but she never changes.
No. It's literally just flip-flopping on whether they're getting along.
Yeah, and I mean, and she's not a bad character.
No.
But she doesn't have an arc.
Yeah.
Betty's arc is reversed.
Yeah, completely.
It's like the golden arches for
backslide. McDonald's,
but it's just like you never make it to the second hump of the M.
Betty, the golden arch. Yeah. I think you're spot on. Damn it. Just left my mind. Yeah, Sabrina definitely benefited from only having like 12 to 13 episodes.
Yes, and I think it has a very specific message, aesthetic, and it follows a set of rules. Mm-hmm. It follows, depending on which episode. I know this isn't a Sabrina podcast, so I'll get off my soapbox soon.
That's all good.
But because they used certain aspects of witchcraft or Wicca, or even when they do the voodoo and stuff like that, like they follow the rules of those specific belief systems, so that then it still makes sense in this universe. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's not like they make, like in Riverdale, they make up their own fucking rules. Yeah. This goddamn town's a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, and in Riverdale, well, similar to Veronica Mars, it's like you've got this like first season where it's planned around like a central theme or central murder. And while Veronica Mars has definitely gone off the rails a little bit for sure with the bus crash, it is nowhere near to then jumping to serial killer, then cult, then
Yeah.
there's no restraint in Riverdale, which is admirable, but at the same time, it's rough.
It's rough.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so let's talk about the supernatural world of Veronica Mars.
Yeah. I do have some background info for you.
Okay.
For this episode, UPN decided to invite bloggers to visit the set and cover it.
Interesting.
Yeah. Which is a very canny move on their part, because they're like, oh yeah, like we know how important you are to the show's success, because the mainstream journalism is not covering it. You mean
to tell me this is a niche subject?
Right, exactly. I mean, the nature of internet has changed since then, so there's even Veronica Mars is a little bit more widely, but at the time when this is a cable show and you need to be pulling in 10 million viewers each episode, this ain't cutting it.
You better shape up.
Do.
Maybe they should have put a Grease marathon in the middle. I bet they didn't have the rights.
No, probably not. That'd be expensive. There's a great quote in this article from Rob Thomas. Sometimes I think bloggers are our journalists, which hold up a little bit.
Excuse me, I am a blogger. Am I not journalist status?
As someone who writes for their personal blog, I would not describe myself.
I was just teasing.
But I feel like bloggers made the show, which makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
In a way, a day like the press day is preaching to the choir, but I don't know that we'd exist without them. And it's a little different because they're non-professional. So you bring them to the set. That's a good time.
Well, and I think there is, it was basically influencer marketing before influencer marketing was coined.
Totally. It caused a little bit of a stir online too on who they invited.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure.
Yeah. I'm sure there is lots of things that I don't get from just having one line about it. And that we completely missed out on the time from not being in that sphere.
No, I was busy. I was at dance class. Whenever this was on, I'm sure I was at dance class.
2006?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
What day of the week do we think this was?
Oh, this episode? Let's see.
Does it tell you?
Yeah, I think I could find an air date. It doesn't say day of the week. April 11th, 2006.
My guess is that's a Tuesday.
Let's see.
Or
okay.
Thursday?
I'm going to guess Wednesday.
Okay.
Thursday.
Hey, not bad.
There you go.
I think I had gymnastics that night.
I think this is when it was the bumper after America's Next Top Model, if I remember correctly off the top of my head.
See, in my evenings, I came home from school. I had my snack. I ate dinner really quickly. Sometimes I watched an episode of Gilmore Girls while I did that, and then I went to dance class at 5:30.
Makes sense.
6, and then I came home at 9:30.
I was probably watching Lost or the lineup of NBC comedies.
What was it like to have free time after school?
Oh, sweet. Except during the spring and winter.
I literally had a class every day of the week except for Friday.
Damn.
And I loved it. Don't get me wrong.
Right,
I would gladly live that life again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was a little perturbed that I had those winters and springtime filled up. Got things to watch.
But that was one of the weirdest things to adjusting to in college was I'd come home from class and then I was like, oh, I can sit here.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Excuse?
Yeah, there was even for the relatively lighter schedule that I had in comparison to say you or other people that were wall to wall busy with stuff at school, college is still an adjustment of how much free time you have, because it's literally up to you. So you work your job, but also you need to fit in the time for studying and doing work because it's not always due. Big adjustment there.
Yeah.
But yeah,
back to high school with Veronica.
Totally. And I think it's in terms of bringing bloggers out and stuff, it's sure, why not? These people aren't getting paid.
Yep, which is now a huge issue with people using influencers and bloggers to promote their items and get things like freebies without exchanging money. Don't accept free shit for content.
Yeah.
Your content, even if you have very few followers, is worth money because you had to create the content and the copy, and then they usually own the rights to it. So don't give people your shit for free.
Exactly. One last piece on this before we jump in. The website from the former Deadspin writers Defector went live today. Long story on that. The Deadspin got bought by Gizmodo, and then they told them to stick to sports, and they said shove it up yours, and all left. But they, back in Deadspin, they wrote about how SB Nation does exactly that. SB Nation's huge website, and just a content mill for like bloggers and unpaid interns.
Yep, we don't. I wrote for a couple of different online magazines that I got published on, and then they were like, yeah, like you can apply to get paid, and I did, and they never emailed me back, so now I do not patron those websites.
Yeah.
Because I think that's fucked up.
Totally.
But anyway, okay, so Veronica is in class, and she keeps falling asleep.
Mm-hmm.
And she keeps having dreams.
Can relate.
You fell asleep in class?
Not...
I'm sorry, what? Sacrilege.
So in college at my 8 a.m. and I'm like,
well, that college is, I mean, like you got there.
But so my AP U.S. History junior year, the teacher was like, hey, if you do all your stuff and you get good enough grades in the class, then like I don't really care. So I'd sleep.
We had a lot of teachers that like told us that, but I couldn't sleep in class.
Oh, I was dead tired after lunch.
God, it was so hard to eat that hot dog.
Exactly, though. Like, that's like 100%. Like, I ate like horribly. So then I'm like full and then I'm like sleeping at the desk. Like, now I know what that means. But like when you're having a hamburger and like fries and like a taco for lunch, like, of course it's going to put you to sleep.
I would put my head down, but I didn't sleep in class.
Oh, yeah. I'd knock out for like 15 minutes.
Sometimes I doodle, but I didn't sleep. No, I couldn't sleep. I can't sleep in public. I get worried.
Yes, that you're in gender studies.
Ain't that the truth? So Veronica falls asleep in class. She keeps having dreams. She's being haunted by the bus crash. And like throughout the episode in different dreams, she'll like see and talk to different characters. And then it's like time is always running out because at some point eventually the bus crashes.
Yes. And we get some weird filters on this episode. They go a little hog wild with the filters. It
looks like the green player mode that's on like old TVs. I think I've talked about this before.
Yeah.
It's like that.
And then the backgrounds behind the bus, I mean, they change, but it made me think of like the terrariums that like moved around. Like it would be like a light in the middle, and then it would be like a plastically filmed paper that like ran on a little motor and would like spin around. That's what it looks like she's like in the middle of, but like with stars instead of like say dinosaurs.
Do we need to get you a dinosaur one?
I had one in college.
You had one in college?
Yeah. It broke during my junior year, but Evan and I found one and we put it in our room.
I'm sad I didn't meet you then.
That's for the best.
Yeah, true. But yeah, man, boys couldn't take care of your things, or else we could have a terrarium.
No, yeah, it was great. It was really loud though because it was like an old one that we found at like the Goodwill, so it was just like as it
like a dinosaur.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that. So Veronica has this weird dream of being on the bus, and Meg is on it. Is that where we start first, or is it she talks to the guidance counselor first?
Yeah, she talks to. So it's like she's being brought into the guidance counselor and starts explaining these nightmares. Yeah,
because the teachers are like, quit falling asleep in class, Veronica. And Veronica's like, high school's boring and I'm gonna take a nap.
Yeah, pretty much. I do like you gotta celebrate that she's just like, I'm too grumpy to like put up with you like telling me what to do.
And so then she tells the guidance counselor about her dreams, and she has a dream about Meg, and Meg's telling her that her family loved this guy named Lucky, who was the janitor. He went to their church, and
Yeah.
Lucky's just like this random dude that Meg thought was really creepy.
Mm-hmm. And he's this Vietnam War vet. Not Vietnam. Oh my God.
Iraq
He's not
War.
that old.
Yeah.
He's like 19.
Because he
20.
literally goes to war, gets shot. Logan will explain this for us in a bit, but gets shot in the leg and gets to
Ass.
Ass. I thought it was the leg. Is it the butt?
Yeah,
and
gets
gets
shot
to
in the
come
butt.
home immediately. Oh yeah, Lucky is Dominic, who was shot in the butt.
Mm-hmm.
Um.
Then why Lucky? Because he could have gotten shot at somewhere else.
Yeah, and I'm like, good God.
Yeah. Veronica makes a reference to the Ghost Whisperer also, which is a show I completely forgot about. Jennifer Love Hewitt, which is very of the time.
I never saw that show.
I mean, I didn't either. It was a procedural where Jennifer Love Hewitt saw ghosts and solved mysteries, I guess.
This sounds like the most fun trash to watch. Or was it bad?
I think it was like one of those like basic cable shows that you're just kind of like, okay. It's kind of like Medium. Do you remember Medium with Patricia Arquette?
No.
Oh, okay. Similar vibe.
The
It's like
only show I can think of is Touched by an Angel. That was,
gotcha.
But that wasn't really like a procedural per se. It was like the
Yeah.
angels trying to interfere.
Yeah, I have a weird tolerance for that stuff. I mean, they're okay, but I don't feel like they're ever as fun as you kind of hope they'd be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I have ghosties, I want them to be fucking shit up.
Yeah.
Not in my house, if you guys are listening, but stand down, spirits.
We can coexist.
We're free. Oh yeah, no. If you are not malevolent, if you are a good ghost, good energy, a nice guy, neutral even,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna protect us. You're gonna take care of us. You just having a little fun. You're welcome here. You come to fuck shit up, and we're gonna have to talk.
Right.
That holy water you had wasn't expired, right?
I didn't bring it with me.
Oh God.
Oh God.
Oh God.
It was probably expired though. It'd just be like, this does nothing. Gone back to regular water.
Yeah. Does holy water ever go back?
Depends on what you do with it, I guess.
What it sees.
Yeah, right. There you go.
The
The sinner picks it up. It's just right back to water.
the corruption of holy water.
Yeah.
But yeah. So then
Oh, I did want to mention, did you see Meg's shirt?
the one that said "bun in the oven" or whatever.
Baby on board.
Baby on board. Yeah. Yeah. Meg has some weird outfits throughout this one. It's very funny.
Uh-huh.
We also find out that, so the guidance counselor is like, Veronica, like, it's not good you're haunted by these people. And Veronica's like, no shit. Basically, but not. And then she's like, who you should really worry about is Rhonda's friend, Michelle?
Yes.
Who, Michelle was earlier. She was the one who told us that she had the voicemail from Rhonda calling her on the bus right when it crashed.
Mm-hmm.
And she also had another voicemail of her on her answering machine of like earlier in the ride. And apparently the voice of Dick Casablancas was playing on the bus.
Mm-hmm.
Which is funny because he is in the limo. So how could that happen?
Right, exactly.
And then we find out that it was just because she had played the CDs of voicemails from Dick on the bus.
Uh-huh. Love it. Burn it to a CD.
Mm-hmm.
It's great.
Yeah. And then there's the I am God graffiti written on the bus, right?
Yes. We get the flashback. We get a different filter. It looks like they forgot to clean the lens. It is very hard to see. Very gauzy. Of Veronica waking up in the middle of the night, and talking to Keith, and then like explains that she had went on the bus and like saw the graffiti on the bus and had investigated the bus, and which is a very important thing, and is kind of crazy that we didn't see Veronica ever like go on the bus. But like I feel like it's like they got to episode 18, they're like, oh God, we need to like move this along. Just have her explain it.
And like she like yeah, like we saw Keith sneak on the bus. We didn't see Veronica.
Right. And Veronica apparently, like, I feel like I never really understood what the graffiti was this entire episode, because
Isn't it just like the cover of a song or whatever?
Yeah, it is. I meant like what it like looks like. I didn't have like a great image in my mind the entire episode because it's like mostly referred to like offhand. We don't get that like shot of it usually.
Mm-hmm.
Like we get like of the rat, which I mean, I guess like plays out when it's not important per se. But
Well, no, she shows the guidance counselor the photo of it on the bus seat.
right. I feel like we just didn't get like it as a reveal kind of thing.
Oh, like it live.
Yeah. Like where Keith sees the rat and it's like focus on the rat. Like, oh shit. So.
Yeah, with the 9 tombstones. But 8 people died in the bus crash. So Veronica's like, they didn't expect me to get off.
Poor Veronica.
I feel bad
Always
for
blaming
her.
herself.
I mean, a man washed up. I would say it's like a little, like borderline narcissism, but a man washed up on the shore with your name on his hand.
Totally. And she's had people gunning for her for a very long time. So maybe some justified.
Yeah, she's not exactly Miss Popular in town. Also, like, why is her guidance counselor okay with the fact that her and Keith both broke onto the bus? And like she's like, did you tell your dad about this? And she's like, yeah, I did tell my dad about this. And I'm like, I know the guidance counselor dated Keith and like they have, they're fond of each other. It's not like they ended on bad terms or anything. But like the police or the sheriff's department in this town sucks so bad that she's like, did you talk to your dad about this?
Totally. It's like, yep, your father's the much better person to speak to. Like, also like that she used this counseling session not to like really get to the bottom of it. She's like, no, mysteries. Like, let's figure this out.
Yeah, like let's solve this mystery together. Like, let's not stop your nightmares. Let's solve the root, which is the identifying what happened.
Yes. Hand me your extremely large printed pictures, Veronica, and let me have a look at them.
Yeah, it's interesting. And so then Veronica chases down Logan. We find out about Lucky because Lucky is a guy who's at the school that also buys beer for the kids,
Yeah. Hangs out with the high schoolers.
And we get a flashback of her and Logan making out in the car.
Yeah.
To, like, what is that song?
Lucky.
Be that friend. Hi.
I can find it.
It's like Breathe Me or something again. I think that's it. I just was like, this song is very of that time. Like, if you looked at my iPod from 2006, that song was probably on it.
Damn. Okay. The one time the wiki is not updated with the songs. Oh, well. Apologies.
I think it's called Breathe Me. But if not, that one few second cover, I'm sure will help your I almost said ShamWow instead of Shazam. I'm sure it'll work for you.
Yeah, it'll get cleaned up real fast.
Soak that right up. But
that guy went to jail, right? ShamWow guy?
Did he?
I think so.
Really?
Yeah, I can't remember the full story, so you can't get into it. I apologize.
Well, next week, I expect you to come back and start us off with a little report on the ShamWow.
Right. Perfect. That sounds good.
And I'll look up the name of that song.
Hanging Threads. Come back.
Don't you want to stick around?
The tantalizing mysteries of the world.
Okay, and then we go to science class. With Mr. Wu, and they're gonna do an egg drop.
Yes.
Did you ever do this?
Yes. What year of high school did I do this?
I think I did this in 8th grade, 7th or 8th grade.
I think I did it like freshman year, maybe sophomore year. Can't remember. I wrote down. I'm like, yes, best project.
Did your egg survive?
Yes, I believe so.
Interesting. I think mine did too. I don't remember. I have zero recollection. I remember shooting off rockets. We made rockets and shot them off in like 4th or 5th grade.
That's cool. We never did that. Catholic school, damn it.
It's public school, man.
Yep, all the way.
Mine ended up on the school roof. I never got it back.
Oh, that's awful.
It's still on the cafeteria to this day.
Someone go get it.
It's been 20 years.
Perfectly preserved rocket.
But yes, so Dick and Logan were working together, and Dick and Logan were being Dick and Logan, so Dick was being racist and Logan was being there. Just being there.
Yep.
Being in the way.
Totally.
And so then
that is a very good description of their relationship.
That's literally how they function.
Dick says something awful and Logan goes
and he's just like, yep, here I am.
Yep.
I'm laughing at you, not with you, but you don't know.
100%.
And so Mr. Wu breaks the happy couple up, and he puts Dick with Angie.
Yes.
who is a smart, top of the class, rich kid,
Mm-hmm.
very wealthy.
Totally. And, you know, she definitely has her faults, and she's not the greatest person ever. But no one deserves to be saddled with Dick, especially not a woman.
And she's a product of her design.
Totally.
And our poor friend Wallace
Mm-hmm.
is stuck with Logan.
Oh, I've lots to say about Wallace when we get to it.
I love throughout the seasons as we begin to dig a little bit into the Logan Wallace relationship, because it's pretty much surface level throughout the entire series, but it is like you're just like Wallace has opinions and you know it, and it's like the way that character's portrayed is so well done. I love it.
Yes. When they put the two together, and it makes total sense. Of just like, we don't know each other. We have like a connection between like Veronica, but like that's it. And like, I'm not afraid to like let my opinions be known in like a okay.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you think you're cool?
Yep.
I'm
not afraid of you. I just don't like you.
So then Tina, the one who is playing her voicemails from Dick Casablanca, is on the bus. Her friend is at her locker, and Veronica goes up to talk to her, and she's like, yeah, Dick is the bastard child of Satan.
I wrote that
down. Beautiful quote.
Yep.
Beautiful quote. Yeah, like Satan was like, I don't want this.
Yeah, God,
what have I made?
Yeah, you do not get to be next in line.
Thank God this thing's mortal.
Send him to live with Big Dick.
She's like, yep, Dick was totally her type, rich and completely ignorant and indifferent of her. But she wanted Dick to get her pregnant so that she could.
Yeah, I was like with it until that statement.
Yeah, it made me mad.
Yeah, because it's like, oh, she couldn't like just want like a rich hookup.
Yeah, like I just want to fuck a rich boy.
Yeah.
That's what I say when I walk into a room.
There you go. Yeah, she's like, I don't want to date him. But then it's like this gross thing of like poor women grifting the rich people.
We call that sexism.
Mm-hmm.
It's my
Classist.
song. Do you like it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's classist too. It's intersectional and it is layered because it's also racist.
Yes,
many layers.
Yeah, much like Dick. Just pick an ist and there he is.
Yeah, God. So we get another dream sequence.
Yes, I wrote every time we go back. I wrote back to the bus! !
Okay, what do we get on the bus? Because I wrote loving this dream sequence. No description. You know, this COVID quarantine monkey mind is really hard on me.
Yeah, I believe this is the one where we get on the phone call and them playing the like Dick's voicemails like on the thing, and then I forget his name. Crap. I can't say his name. Crap. But it's our introduction to one person who is going to give the outing of the century.
Servando? No. Oh,
yeah,
God.
I lost his name.
Oh, God. We really got to start writing the names down.
No, I think I put it later. Crap. He was going to do the outings of all outings.
Oh, yes.
But, yeah, it's our introduction to him on the bus. And
cool.
Then we go back to...
Oh, and it's him accusing Mr. Wu, basically, of...
That's where she goes with it. Yeah.
So then we go to Logan and Wallace working together on their project. Mm-hmm. And they're at Logan's hotel. Hotel, motel, Holiday Inn.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
No, his very nice room that he never left after Duncan left at the Neptune Grand. And he's like, Logan and Wallace are talking and working on their project. And Logan's like, you...
Found his name, Peter.
Peter. Thank you. Logan's like, Wallace, you don't like me. And Wallace is like, no, I don't like you. The last time I talked to you, you bashed Veronica's headlights in.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, God, season 1.
Yeah.
They don't talk.
No.
So when she was dating when she was dating Logan that entire time, they just never hung out with Wallace?
Yeah, I 100% thought. I 100% think that's the case. Veronica would hang out with Wallace or would hang out with Logan.
True. And I guess like because they weren't in school because it was like the end of the school year in summer. And then the whole thing happened where, their relationship didn't last very long because he had some issues.
Totally.
Or as he tells her later, he's like, you thought the grass was greener with the other rich boy.
Pretty good.
But Wallace basically in this scene's like, Logan, I have you figured out.
Yeah, 100%.
You love Veronica.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he's just like, oh yeah, why are you trying to help out, huh?
Yeah, he's like, I know why I help Veronica, but why are you helping Veronica?
Oh God, Wallace is on best friend mode, maybe this entire episode, and it's fantastic.
It is. And later when we get to the espresso, caffeinated Wallace. King.
Even better. Yeah.
Okay, so then Veronica's at school and she sees her dad in the hallway, but he keeps walking. And she comes home and she's like, Dad, did I see you at school? And he's like, I don't know. Did you? Were you dreaming?
Right.
I'm like, oh, good question.
Yeah, I don't know.
Lately. And then she gets an envelope, and it's a little envelope. This is the bait and switch. They get and it's from Stanford, and we're like, oh God, it's the little envelope.
Those mean private schools.
Yeah, private schools. You didn't go for the big envelope.
Yeah, you can afford it at Stanford.
Also, I don't know. I guess by the time we applied, like most of my acceptances came online. I saw them online, and then I got an envelope.
I'm trying to think. I think you might be right, actually.
I know I am for myself. But when I got my one, the only one that I think sent me like a big envelope before accepting was UCSD. And they send you an envelope, and on the outside it says, don't worry, it's the big one.
Oh, that's good.
And then it had confetti in it. I almost went to UCSD solely because they sent me confetti. But I got into like the theater rows of, I don't know, I got into a weird, because there's 6 colleges and I didn't understand them, and they were going to make me take math. Yeah. And in hindsight, I'm good at math, but at the time I was anti-math.
Oh, I get it.
Some people are anti-vax. I'm just anti-math. I'm just kidding. I believe in math, and I think it's crucial. I just am not prone to doing it.
Yeah, and you don't think other people shouldn't do it.
Exactly. No, if you love, please do math. Yeah. Actually, I encourage you to like math.
Yeah, we got a math lab in our apartment.
We did find signs outside that said meth lab, but we're really hoping someone typoed.
Right, yeah. We're not going to do the whole Veronica Mars investigation on this. We hope we have Veronica Mars that lives around here.
I was thinking, though, if I left like a little Sudafed out the door and I set a camera and we saw if like they came out to take it.
Got him.
Yeah. Let me see.
I just have a cold, man.
Anyway, so we find out she got into Stanford. Congrats, Veronica. The pine trees.
We were all rooting for you.
Not the pine trees. They have isn't their thing like the Christmas tree? Like it's like a Douglas fir. It
is, yeah, 100%. I forget what it's, but you're right. It's like a pine. It's like a pine tree.
Yeah, the firs.
Yep. Yep.
And then we go to school, and Veronica and Angie are sitting in Principal Clement's office, and Angie is ahead of Veronica in GPA now because her parents petitioned that her grades counted as college-level courses for her semester aboard. What's it called when you do a semester at sea?
Yeah.
Semester at sea.
Aboard.
I like a semester aboard better.
Semester ahoy.
Exactly. Did you ever, I got poached by them a lot. They're like, don't you want to take a semester at sea? And I was like, I've never been on a boat. And they were like, well, you might like it. And I was like, and I might hate it.
They knew that I had 2 feet firmly planted on land. This boy does not want to be on a boat.
Would you go on a cruise?
Yeah.
I would too, but I worry about it.
I would, but I don't feel like a semester at sea is quite like being on a cruise.
I don't think so at all. I would assume not. I have no goals of being at sea anywhere.
No.
Though, maybe. I don't know. We'll just see. I don't like being on airplanes either, so we'll see which one I can tolerate for longer.
Trains.
Trains. I love trains. Yeah, but we can only go to the continental U.S. then.
That's true.
In Canada.
When's that tunnel going to be done to Hawaii?
Oh, God. I think I'd rather fly than go in a tunnel to Hawaii.
To the Pacific.
Yeah.
You're probably right.
Well, the BART tunnel is bad enough going into the city.
But like when you're traveling.
Like hours in the tunnel. No. Anyway, so we find out that what would happen since Angie's GPA, she's now ahead for the scholarship, is that Veronica won't have the money to go to Stanford.
Yep. Awful.
Which is bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
So Veronica goes, "Oh, I'm second place." And Wallace goes, "Nothing about you is second place."
Yeah. That was tremendous. Best line.
She's
Write
like,
it down, everybody.
She's
Take
like,
that down.
"Accept my GPA."
Yeah, it's just a cut to this scene and just Wallace saying there's nothing about you that says second place, and it's just like yes. Putting that on my.
You wrote it down, or is
Yeah,
it
I
you
did.
saving that for when I'm sad?
Yeah, it's applicable to everything.
I
Yourself,
lost.
yeah.
No.
If I'm feeling sad, say that to myself.
Nothing about you is second place.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I really appreciate that.
You're welcome.
I like that phrase a lot.
You're welcome. And then she's like, "Hey, Wallace, what can you tell me about Rhonda who died on the bus?" And he's like, "Yeah, she's a PWT."
Mm-hmm.
And we're like,
We get a joke about PYT,
Mhm.
and I'm like, I like that song.
yeah. We used to hear it at the gym a lot.
Everywhere in San Francisco for a year. Everywhere we went, I heard it.
Uh-huh.
It was bananas.
2018, the year of PYT.
Yeah, it's, like all the time.
But he's like, "No, it's poor white trash." And I was like, "I've never heard that before."
Yeah, I didn't either. I haven't heard of PWT. But yeah, it was her and her sister he mentions.
Mm-hmm. And so then Veronica's like, "Could you point out her sister?" And he's like, "Probably." And do we see that scene already, or is it later?
Oh, later.
The car? Okay.
Because next we got Keith dating.
Oh, God.
Yeah, rough time.
My only note on this is poor Keith trying to date.
Yeah, this is a good bait and switch with the dating scenes, though. I will say they pull this one off.
Mm-hmm.
And because they keep his actions relatively in the dark, but it's like a weird background thing that we don't really have like a full understanding of because of that.
Yeah.
It's kind of vaguely alluded to that like kids are like trying to get out of school because of fake anxiety stuff, and I don't like that resolution either, but we can get there.
Yeah. So one thing we will note is that at the school right now, a lot of kids have generalized anxiety disorder diagnosis.
Yeah.
And they're using them for accommodations, which is very strange, interesting, and specific because I have never heard of any accommodations really being given for that. And anyone with an actual disability, which anxiety is, but when you have an actual diagnosis, you get an IEP, and there's like a whole like slew of meetings that involve setting accommodations for you.
It's not just like writing it up.
Mm-hmm. It's very specific usually.
Here's a stamp.
Mm-hmm. And then we go back over to Angie.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, "Oh my God." Mr. Wu tells her that she has to go to the office or whatever because whatever her parents sent for her, it must be more important than his class.
Mm-hmm.
She goes, she comes back, and she got into Stanford.
Yep, and she's got big old balloons.
She's got balloons. And so then I will say this, Dick, thank God for Dick, because he's like, "Hey, Veronica Mars got into Stanford."
Yeah.
And Angie's like, "Veronica got into Stanford," and Wallace is like, "Yeah, she did."
Uh-huh. Yes. Best friend Wallace stepping up again. He's here. He's here. He's just like ready. Whatever it was this week with like the caffeine or whatever. He was just hearing like people talk shit on Veronica, and he's like, "Gotta go over there. Gotta say something."
Can you be my Wallace for life? I mean, but romantically too.
Yes.
I want you to hype me in that way, and I'll hype you, obviously.
Yeah. No,
Both ways.
I got work to do to get here, but he's doing great.
Yeah.
He's a role model here.
We'll get you an espresso machine.
Thank you. Be like Tina.
Oh God, you only bite down on a bean.
Magic black bean.
So she gets in-class balloons, which gave me a flashback to high school and the popularity contest that ensued on like how many balloons you got for your birthday and stuff like that. Lucky for me, Valentine's Day was usually around then, so I got some god-awful birthday balloons because they're like, "Oh shit, wrong bunch, huh? Here's some
Fantastic.
hearts."
Oh my God.
Yeah, God, it was a mess. I was always concerned. I was like, oh God, I'm going to get a I got a Valentine from someone and I'm not dating anyone. Like, what the fuck is this? And then
they're
I'm
just like, no, it can't be right. They ordered like birthday balloons. It must be Valentine's.
Mm-hmm. I did have one guy I dated when I was in high school who he was not in high school, and it was very short-lived, but he sent a teddy bear and a card to the front office, and I felt so uncomfortable by that I immediately broke up with him because I was just like, you didn't talk to me at all.
Yeah.
Give me a teddy bear in person. Quality time. That's my love language.
Don't just give me a koala.
Well, it was just like, in dropping it off at the school, I was just like, this feels weird and creepy and stalkerish.
Yeah.
Which it was just being nice. But
and I mean, he should have been in class because he was in middle school, right? This guy was younger?
Yeah. No.
I keyed.
No, it was my parents were not fond of this one. It was a dark time in the household.
As I recall, it sounds like something you all made it through.
And here we are, and because I dated so many duds, when you showed up,
yes,
they were like, my prince, come in. Kissed a lot of frogs, and there you were, hiding underneath the lily pond.
Mm-hmm.
Lily pond?
Lily pad.
Lily pad. I was like, the lily pod? That's not it either.
That's the name of the pond, sure.
Yeah, the lily pond. That's where I kept you. Well, where you kept you. Where I found you.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and I was like,
Dredged
who's coming
you up
in
from
here?
the bottom.
Introverts only.
Introverts only. Then it's going to be a quiet-ass pond.
Yeah.
Just like grumbling quietly.
Exactly.
Oh, don't worry. It's not shaking. There's no, it's fine. It's just the grumbles.
Yeah. The older I get, the more I understand Bilbo.
Oh God.
Nothing to do with you people. We just live in the same neighborhood.
And I just become like a little old sassy lady with the passing days and hours. So
there you go.
We're going to be a great like front porch comedy couple when we're old. Like the little old lady and like
the front porch comedy tour.
She's just us sitting on our porch. We're not even laughing.
Exactly.
No, but like when you have the little old lady and the little old man in the neighborhood and you're just like, oh, like I just love little old people. I mean, I don't want to get old soon, but like I'm excited for this period in our lives. We're going to have fun.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Retirement sounds cool.
We're going to get, and I mean, we're going to get a little like when we have our wheelchairs for just in case, not like we need them all the time. We'll have a ramp on the front porch and we can race down it.
Love it.
It's going to be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
We might want to make sure we like don't put that on the internet before we take out any sort of life insurance policies though, because I feel like that's reckless behavior.
Then they won't pay us out.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, so they get balloons. They do the egg drops. Everyone passes so far.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
No one's egg has cracked.
No. The only one who doesn't pass is Dick because he doesn't know which project this is.
Because Angie did it all herself.
Yep. Sounds about right.
And then Keith is doing his speed dating thing again, and this woman is like, ooh, like you're sad. You need new hair, new cologne, new suit.
Mm-hmm. One woman describes him as George from Seinfeld, who also then describes George as a nice guy. And it's like, you did not watch the same program I did.
I don't know anything about the characters on Seinfeld.
Oh, they're all just supremely selfish.
That's kind of the vibe I got, but...
Yeah. I mean, that's the main crux of the show is all the problems on the show are created because they don't want to go out of their way to do anything.
No wonder I can't stand this show.
Uh-huh.
This makes me physically uncomfortable to hear.
Right. I mean, like Larry David like dials it up to 11 on Curb, but like
yeah, but it's on Curb. It's because it's up to 11. It's like
okay.
It's like so out of the norm that you're like, oh, okay.
I get you.
I think there's something about the art to Curb that I like because it's like, oh, this feels very like, it feels like you're watching like actual people live. You know what I mean? They don't feel like characters. Like it's like, okay, like we're doing like an improv game.
Totally. It's sitcom all the way for Seinfeld. Yeah.
And then Wallace and I almost said Aaron. Wallace and Logan.
Oh God.
Are working on their project. Wallace has had 4 espressos.
Oh, we did skip over. So we did have the scene where Wallace and Veronica are looking for Rhonda's sister, and Natalie walks by with tons of rhinestones and gets in a car and drives away.
Yeah, and Veronica's like, oh, I thought you said they were poor white trash. Seems like they dropped the P.
Yep.
And so then, yeah, they're working on their project, and Logan's like, let's take a break while the glue dries. I need to do something. What did he say? Was it that he needed to poop? I didn't know. I didn't understand.
Logan?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like something to excuse himself and go to the bathroom.
Yeah, because I was like, and then he walked in the back. I was like, oh, he has a meeting.
Exactly. Yeah. Drop the kids off the pool.
And Wallace turns on the TV, and it's the Aaron Eccles report.
Yeah, just decides to watch it. Don't
like,
understand anybody in this show. Everybody decides to watch that program in front of Logan.
And I thought he was doing it on purpose.
Oh, was he? Okay.
Because he kept looking over to see if he was looking. Like I thought it was like, ooh, can I push some buttons? Because
Maybe
Logan was telling me I was being too spazzy and cut me off on my caffeine.
Right.
And also because I want to annoy him because he hurt my friend.
Okay, I like that.
That's the read I got.
That sounds much better.
And Logan's like, yeah, they play it twice a day because it's their best showing episode.
I mean, it's certainly a story.
Is this when Wallace accuses him of liking Veronica, or was it the last scene, or is it both?
I think this one is. I think the last one, Wallace is just kind of like, okay, you rich douche.
Yeah, so then he's like, yeah, like, why, like, I know why I'm helping Veronica, but why are you? And so on and so forth. And it's like, oh, he likes her.
Yeah.
So then we come home from school. Dad made chili.
Yes.
He also looked up the financials on the family of Rhonda's parents and sister, Natalie.
Yeah, because all the rest of the bus crash victims were paid out only for like hospital bills and things, but they got a separate payout from Woody Goodman because Rhonda's mom found a finger in her
riblet.
There you go.
In her riblet. And I was like, oh my God, it's just like the Wendy's chili finger, which is why the dad is making chili. I loved it. I was like, this is great. This is cute.
A scene written for you.
I also used to love to get food at Wendy's, so I was like, oh God, but I never got the chili.
Yeah,
baked potato. Have you ever had a Wendy's baked potato? They're actually pretty good. At least they were. I mean, it's been a while.
I didn't really go. There was a Wendy's by us, but we didn't really go. And then the last time I went to a Wendy's, it was awful. It was like cold food, and it took 5 minutes for them to serve us.
Oh.
Like they were just sitting at the counter, and then it was just kind of like sitting there.
So I used to like when because we'd get takeout for lunch every day, go somewhere. And when we went to Wendy's, it was always good because I could get a lot of different sides there as a vegetarian.
Okay.
They have a side salad that was really good and came with ranch and was like fresh, like croutons, the whole thing, like a good little side salad. They had baked potato. They had really good fries, and they had something else. And I used to get just like this weird little smattering of sides. It was great.
Oh, that sounds nice.
As a side eater, it was great.
Yeah, that's not the case for vegetarians at other places, except Taco Bell.
Yeah, but they took away all of the good stuff. They took away the potatoes.
I don't even know what that menu. It's bananas.
I'm angered.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I'm hurt. Well, and also, I mean, like, we can just fuck Taco Bell because, like, isn't one of the higher ups there, like, a Trump supporter and gave money to the campaign?
Probably.
So we can just say, fuck you, Taco Bell.
Yeah.
You know what? You stop making my potatoes, you don't get my heart no more.
Kick to the curb.
That was very emotional for me, but thank you all for being here for that.
Yeah.
I love Taco
We're all here
Bell.
and supporting you.
Thank you.
Yeah. We're right behind you.
Right behind me?
Yep.
To catch me?
Every step. Exactly.
Trustful.
Yeah.
So then we get a scene where Keith's going into the principal's office to be like, hey, I've been looking into that thing you asked me to look into, which is like why all these kids have all these doctor's orders. But someone is hiding in the principal's closet because they were sneaking into the office when their father came in.
Yep. I put back to the old permanent file.
And Keith is like, yeah, and I left my jacket. And Clemens is like, yeah, it's in the closet. And so he goes to go get it. And he's like, is it in there? And Keith sees Veronica and he's like, yep, that's mine.
Very good.
And I'm like, ooh.
Yeah. And then we get back to Keith dating. and a woman talking to him about like how like she used to hate him, was so against him, and then after the Eccles case is like, oh, I'm gonna go out and vote for you, and it reminded me that he's like a low-key celebrity in this town.
Yes.
Because otherwise it's like, oh right, he's been
sheriff.
Yep, and New York Times bestselling author, private investigator.
Mm-hmm.
So like,
and part of this case that everyone saw.
Totally, he's got credentials.
And then Veronica goes to talk to Mr. Wu about Peter, and he's like, yeah, I know Peter had a crush on me, but you know, he wasn't going to out me. I'm not gay. I'm just well dressed.
Right.
And I was like, that's fair.
Because Veronica is thinking that Mr. Wu was going to be part of the outing of all outings.
And then we go back to a bus dream thing, and Peter's like, hey, like, you know, do you
He's
really
got Daft Punk playing, you know, it's house music. So like, what's the signifier for a gay man? Oh yeah, house music.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
He was just like, why did I even go to a baseball game? And I was like, are we not allowed to like baseball?
No.
I mean, I personally am not a huge fan, but
you know, we playing in stereotypes here with the gay guy.
And then we cut to a scene where Veronica is wearing an outfit that I cannot understand.
Important note.
Okay.
From Peter. It's like, who do you think I've like of him like trying to like explain who do you think I'm actually like, why would I go to a baseball game? Like, don't you think it's connecting to like my outing of all outings kind of thing?
Oh. Gotcha.
Yeah, there's just a brief note there.
It was the why did I go to a baseball stadium?
Yeah.
And so then Veronica's wearing a thermal, like a long sleeve thermal that has patterns on it, which I used to have a bunch like this. This is very 2006. This is a very like Arizona JCPenney brand. Like I'm pretty sure I had that thermal. And then over it, she is wearing a brown like sleeveless hoodie, so just like a vest almost, but like with a hood that pulls over with a front pocket.
Solid.
And I was like, you know, why didn't I keep my weird clothing? Because like I feel like I could cut that into a crop top now. You know, like there's lots of aesthetics that come back, and like trash like that was definitely, it's gonna come full circle if it hasn't already.
Totally. Stop. I'm not on the forefront of fashion, but I mean this stuff comes back around.
Yeah, I would have worn that.
Yeah.
But so then we find out that we're looking into Servando because he is also on the bus.
Yes.
And Beaver had been bullied by him. So Beaver tells us that Dick had been an asshole to Servando and gotten bleach on his pants, his new pants or something like that.
Yeah. So Servando, in a, dust up with the Fitzpatricks and playing like pool with them, won like $200 or something, or like won like $200 pants,
designer jeans basically.
And then so Dick is running around with a squirt bottle, and instead of water in the squirt bottle he has bleach, so again he bleaches the fucking jeans.
But like you could hurt people with that.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy.
I have a lot of issues with Dick as a character, but I mean obviously.
Totally.
But so then Servando came to get even with Beaver instead of going for Dick because it's easier that way.
100%. You could pick him up.
Then we cut over to the egg drop, right? And Angie's egg drops and it survives. And then Wallace's egg drops and it looks like it survived, but it's got a little teeny tiny crack in it. And I just want to know how that happens because I've never seen an egg crack like that in my life. That's not an impact crack.
Yeah, it's like scrambled.
Yep.
And it's like, what? How does that even happen? That you can see the yolk through the egg.
And then Veronica walks into Logan. Is that what happens?
Yeah.
Like literally physically walks into him.
And he's just like, whoa.
You look tired and dead on your feet and, you know, all those things because she's been tired all episode because she's not sleeping.
Then she pulls in a real low blow.
What does she say?
She's like, wow, with that attitude, how could Hannah keep herself away? It's like, oh my God.
Yeah. And then Logan walks away and Wallace comes up and he's like, you know, maybe you could be a little nicer to Logan sometimes. And I'm like, oh, matchmaker, make me a match.
Yeah. Oh, you two crazy kids can't stop saying shitty things to each other.
Just kiss already.
Yeah. Wallace in the corner just watching.
Which, let me tell you, if a boy is mean to you, that does not mean he likes you. It means he's got psychological problems, and he needs to get over those before he can date you.
Yep.
It does
same
not
thing
mean
with Logan.
that he is going to be a bad person forever or that you can't date him in the future. It just means that he needs to learn to not be an asshole first.
Yeah.
That's my dating advice. You're
So
welcome.
push for it. Yeah.
It's me here. I'm just letting you all know this is how to not date assholes. I wish I had listened to myself.
Hello, can you hear me?
Going back to 2006 now. Let's try this again. No, you learn and then you get where you are and then you're happy.
There you go.
That's my story.
Done.
So then we find out that Angie stayed up all night setting up her egg thing because she was like, oh, it doesn't matter. I didn't study for my crime and punishment quiz, which let me tell you, you need to study if you read crime and punishment.
Yeah. That's not a light text.
That's a hefty text. And she's like, it's okay. I'll just get out of the test because of my generalized anxiety disorder.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I don't think that's how this works.
No. But Keith had solved the mystery of the
who's giving
diagnoses.
Who's giving out the diagnoses.
Yeah, through his dates. He's been dating the front office workers from different therapists around Neptune. Figures out that they're giving out these like false diagnoses. So then there's an announcement over the loudspeakers that they're no longer going to accommodate any of the students. And I'm like, well,
that's not okay either.
Yeah, I'm like, this is a harsh, like, this is way too overcorrecting.
I don't think that's how this works.
Yeah, I don't think you'll get away with that.
No, especially anyone who has actual IEP paperwork. Like, that's not how that.
Yeah, 100% no. Like, Clemens, I'm usually in your corner, but like, bud,
it's overstepping. But maybe it was like the teachers know who they're supposed to accommodate. It's just like any of the new ones, they're not. Yeah, that's what I like to think.
Yeah, maybe that's the nice way of thinking about it. I wouldn't say this to Clemens' face though, because he can pick me up.
Yeah, that man can drop a bitch. Watching him pick up Logan in that episode will stay with me for the rest of my life.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was just like, oh, and he's up. Like, how do you do that? Like, this is not a teen. Logan's like mid-20s.
Yeah, like the fact that
Jason Doring is not.
He's not a small dude. Mm-hmm. So then we go back to a dream section, and Servando basically tells us that he thinks it was Weevil who blew the bus off the cliff because he talks about like the angle and like where it was and having eyes on it. Gives some
horrible descriptions of like, I didn't die like when the bus hit the like water.
Really?
Oh, you missed that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The whole start of the scene is him saying, he's like, yeah, explosion only killed the driver. Like, the rest of us, like, went over the cliff, like, still alive. And then, like, as we hit the water, most people died, but I didn't. I got to drown. Gnarly.
Oh, God. But you didn't open a window?
I'm sure the impact still. Yeah, I'm saying he just didn't like instantly die is what he's saying.
Yeah.
Gnarly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, neither did Meg. So they got her out of there.
True.
Yeah, I never understand that. So, yeah, weird, creepy dream. It was Weevil, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he does drawings on the window of like
how it would have gone over and who could, when one could have hit the button, basically. And then Keith comes in and tells us that Dick and Beaver are worth more dead than they are alive.
Yes. But in that dream is when she hears the "I Am God" song playing because she's been listening to the
podcast
Ahoy Mateys, the pirate broadcast. Hears the song at the end of that, wakes up, goes and looks it up, and is like, oh, it was actually just a song by the Wannabes. I don't know the music lookup service she uses, but yeah.
And then Keith tells us Dick and Beaver, when their father married Kendall Casablancas, took out a life insurance policy on both boys, and they're worth more dead than they are alive.
Bananas.
Especially to their family, because their family, like, they take money away.
Totally. 100%.
So yeah. And then she goes to sleep, and that's it, right? It's just like the...
No, there's like that scene at the end where she's having like a horrible dream where they're saying like it's all her fault pretty much. And then there's a phone ringing, and then that's where it cuts to black.
Yes. The ringing phone is the end of the episode.
Yep, exactly.
But yeah, fucking dark shit, man.
It is. I am God.
Weirdly done, too. Weirdly done.
Yeah, weird episode. Yeah, and it seems like most people at the time, too, were like, this looks kind of crappy.
This looks poorly done.
Uh-huh.
Any final thoughts before we plug?
No.
Okay. You're not God.
I'm not.
Herman is dog, though.
He is.
He thinks he's God.
And awesome. Well, yeah, you know.
Our dog is an awesome dog. Why don't we sing that to him? I'm pretty sure I have.
I was going to say. I don't think he's lacking in that department.
You don't think he's feeling neglected and not sung to enough?
No.
Oh, interesting, huh? I'm just a musical lady.
How strange.
Well, when I'm not singing to my dog,
Mm-hmm.
you can find me at butreallythough.com. Though is spelled THO. I am a life and career coach. I help people identify what they want to do with their lives. I help people figure out how to have those weird, hard conversations with their boss. I help people prep for interviews. I help people figure out that their job isn't working for them and how to get a new job without making anyone else mad or getting fired. And I help people find things that work authentically for them so that you're not pretending to be someone else in your monkey suit 5 days a week. So you can find my coaching information over on butreallythough.com. You can also find my blog over there. I post free coaching content every Wednesday, and I also post it on my YouTube channel, which is But Really Though. I have a Patreon, which is also But Really Though, where I give out coaching information similar to how I would in a one-on-one session, but for a group for a very, very low price, depending on which tier you pick. And I also we have another podcast. I was like, that's very forward.
I guessed. For Honest Cinema fans, it's a very Tim Heidecker, Greg Turkington situation.
We have another podcast. It is called But Really Though as well. And it is a podcast where we talk about stuff we didn't learn in history class or conspiracy theories or whatever else the fuck we feel like talking about. It's a variety show, if you will.
Ah, there you go.
A variety show.
Mm-hmm.
And you can stream it on any major podcast player, wherever you stream this podcast.
Totally. And when I'm not stuck in the Black Lodge, aka the bus, you can find me on Twitter at PyleBreton, and that's PYLE. And you can find this podcast on Twitter and Facebook at Mars Rewatch, or you can send us an email and a note and say, hey, no one's taking us up on that, but marsrewatch@gmail.com.
Yeah, I mean, our inbox is open. It's available for you.
Totally.
We can route you to any of our other platforms through there if you couldn't understand what the hell we were rambling about.
Yeah.
We got you. Well, I feel bad saying stay toasted marshmallows when the entire fucking state is on fire. So we're going to just say, stay safe and wear your seatbelt.
There you go.
Wear a mask. Wash your hands. Be nice to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
We're all being real grumpy lately, I feel. So be nice to yourself.
I know what we need to go out on.
What?
Wallace's line.
There's nothing second place about you? Okay. There's nothing second place about you. All of you. Do you hear that? Are you listening? There's nothing second place about you.